All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still move. I have to do the black infrastructure family one all over. I didn't know it was messed up. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm kind of chilling, so this is why the cigar and chilling like this. So excuse me for this one. I'm sorry. What? Family starts with this. There are things that are going on because strong families create strong communities. And these strong communities maintain the the unity and trust and bond of the people in it. So my thing about the family is I'm not necessarily speaking on if we need to be married or single. I'm speaking on the fact that we need to be a unit. Okay? And in that unit, things have to, there's a certain protocol, which to a degree brings up gender roles. Now, for the fellas, in order to be leaders, because all of this boils down to money. In order to be, let me put this shit out. Don't even, I got a lot of cigars. Fuck it. In order to be leaders, we have to see leaders. We have to be able to follow the leadership. We have to be able to do the things, be interns for leadership. And that's where it's kind of messed up because to a degree, you're asking, we have to do it, but to a degree, you're still asking the same men you told to get the hell out of the community. So you telling them, so now they need to come back to the community and do what they were trying to do, the same thing that you put them out of the community for. What I mean by that is the father tip. There are the fathers who really know what they're doing and are good at it, but are getting pushed to the side, i.e., all of this baby mama drama type stuff. And there are the ones who ditch the cause. I'm taking it somewhere. It's not gonna be as long as the other one, so I'm just, you know, putting it down a little bit. Same thing with the women. You have gender roles. So if you don't follow yours and you don't listen to the women in the community, because women have this same problem where the women who are have successful lives or successful relationships and successful children, y'all ignore them. See it all the time. She trying to Claire Huxtable and shit, you know, all Vivian Banks and shit. Fuck that. I don't want. I want to be ride or die chick. I'm using extreme examples, but that's to a degree how it plays out. And because of that, here's where you mess up. Because some of us are living in this family infrastructure problem right now. Who you got to date? When you look out and you see your pick of ladies as a man, who's really where the quality at? When you look out and you see your sea of men, ladies, in front of you, where's the quality at? You're having a hard time finding it. Why? Because of the infrastructure failure that has occurred. Now, how do we reverse this? By doing the opposite of the shit we've been doing. If people want to build a family, whether they're married, committed, or not in a relationship no more, you do what's best for the family. What do I mean by that? Because this is all about money. Here we go. all of men's responsibility to building and setting up the infrastructure and creating the atmosphere for us to be successful. Ladies, we can't listen to y'all because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Your thing, our thing is building it from the ground up. Your thing is amenities. So if I'm building something from the ground up, I don't have time for your amenities discussion until it's actually set up. So when I'm laying the foundation and you trying to put the washer and dryer somewhere, you got to move. When I'm putting up the frame and you want to show me where the china set goes, you got to move. When I put the roof on and you want to show me the bedroom set, you got to move. When I'm putting in the plumbing and the electricity and you sitting there talking about what couches and dining room tables gonna go right here, the room's not necessarily completely set up yet. You got to move. Now when all of that's put together and then the bricks around and it's brick and now we got the inside that we need to work on, the tile and the carpet set. Now you want to bring in the amenities. There you go. That's your time. But until that time, you got to move and shut the hell up. But also, that's our fault because we shouldn't be listening in the first place. Because we know you don't know nothing about foundations and frames and roofing and plumbing and and electrical work and circuit breakers and all that. We know y'all don't know you don't know nothing about that and architecture in itself. Not your strong suit. So, using that infrastructure building reference. Also, when it comes to the amenities part, fellas, you got to move to a degree. Because this is it. If you built it, they will come. No, but if you built it and now it's set up and she's like, yo, okay, this is gonna work for this and this is gonna work for that, and this is gonna work for that. Let her do that. Don't get in her way. Only way you step in is if you build a kingdom and she want to paint the walls pink, then you say, you better sit your crazy ass down. You're not finna get us killed. Walking around here with a pink castle, they're gonna think we soft and they're gonna invade this sucker. No. And you make different rooms, but you ain't there doing that. Okay. Why do I say this? Because at the end of the day, when you set up an infrastructure, you have to have a family to maintain it. And other working infrastructures work off of patriarchy. Now, matriarchy does not work. I know you wish it does, but to be perfectly honest, they put women out there, especially single mothers, and especially single black mothers, to be out there as a test dummy for matriarchy. Single black women have the lowest net worth of anybody in America, including all of this education you got. The kids wind up in the worst amount of trouble, the least protected. And yes, it's some men's fault. But honestly, you're going to need to, the stuff you ladies talk about going to church and the man is the head of the family, that's how it's going to have to go. It works for everybody else. Even them feminist white women who complaining about they don't want patriarchs, they still living under a patriarchal umbrella. That's why half of them think, okay, we don't gonna go so far, shut up. That's why they do that. Now here's the trust factor, fellas. Our women don't trust us. For some good reasons and for some irrational reasons. But I'm going to give you the good reasons. Because to a degree, our family track record is shaky because of the things we've chased. If you want to chase more cooch, take care of home. So you can't go out there being a skirt chaser and neglect home. Not cool. We have that hanging over our heads as a stereotype. Okay, ladies, you can't be a loser chaser because you have that stereotype. Which ties into this fact. When women say, oh, y'all act like, y'all don't do that to white women, y'all don't act like white women. Let me explain something to y'all. The white women or non-black women thing, they're more accustomed to dealing with men who run shit than you sisters are because of how America was set up. Okay? So I'm gonna put it down like this. We don't have the same opportunities as white men. So part of this problem for the men and the women that collectively as a family together is we're scared of scaling back. See, if all of our income generating infrastructure, not all, but a majority of it was stolen through the patent office, and these wealthy families that we look up to, and you need to be like the white folks who are living off of black folks' creations and labor, because a lot of what you don't understand is a lot of this labor force that we look to other people so much for now, if you check back on it, all these skilled jobs they learned from black men back in the day. See, we taught non-black people how to do all the shit that this country works on. Then those people say, "Oh, I learned this and I got it all for myself." Well, the black guy over there taught you, fire that motherfucker. We don't need him no more. That's how the unemployment spiked, and that's how these unions came in, and that's what the give us your sick, you're poor, and come to America. That's what all that was really about. You need to get all these black people the hell out of the way because they really know how to run this country too well. They really put the foundation down for this sucker. So now, to a degree, we're not at ground zero, but we're low. Now, in that aspect, because family is really about money. If you have a family, you want to pass on something, you want to leave something. This is where I'm going. If you have men create a legacy, and with that non-black woman thing and the black woman thing, there's a degree to sisters where you are seen as the women who are down for the struggle, but you're also on the flip side seen as the women who will blow it all before the children and grandchildren get a chance to make their ascension into being the leaders of the community. This is where just like there's a lack of trust for us in the position, there's a lack of trust for you when the king dies. Because that's when a lot of women get on that kick. I want to shop and I want to see the world and I want to be a queen and a princess, and you go all Marie Antoinette on us, and you don't realize, okay, now the kids don't have nothing, which are your kids, even though when you're old or elderly, now your kids are left with anything because when the father died and left and it went to you, you didn't leave it to the kids, and now the kids, your grandkids are stuck. You bought them a couple of PlayStations, and now they don't have a leg to stand on when they grown. So now you got your kids and your grandkids fending for themselves when the father left enough to get everybody on a fresh start. A whole nother story is this. Um, if and on the flip side of the interracial thing is I don't have a problem with interracial dating. I really don't. But what I have a problem with is this. Some people who do interracial dating as far as black infrastructure, family and money and legacy concerned, they forget something. Most black people who are successful, who marry non-black people, have biracial kids. Those biracial kids in this society tend to gravitate to the non-black side. That's why kind of we use white side, but it's just non-black. But for shits and giggles, the white side. So then you get this biracial kid who wants to gravitate to the white side, and then that biracial kid, if they're successful, and the family's successful, um, they're surrounded by a white community who they gravitate to because they still want to be a part of. They still treat them like shit. Don't get me wrong, but when we treat them like shit, is way they feel like we're way worse than the people that's in their face every day. I'm going somewhere with this. So they will go and marry and get with some other white people, and then that kid will be closer to white, or maybe even pass for white. By that time, the black father or mother, patriarch or matriarch figure in that family will be X'd out of that whole thing. And all of that wealth will be completely out of the black community. What I mean by that is they're going to be on some old imitation of life shit. So it's a norm for, when you look at, I'm trying to use an example. When you look at, do you think that Halle Berry's kids are going to date black men? Doubt it. Do you think that Quincy Jones' kids and grandkids are going to date black men and women? Doubt it. Now I don't know their past. Like same thing with like Minnie Riperton's daughter, and a lot of all these celebrities who have these ambiguous kids. Like bigger thing would be like the Wentworth guy, who people didn't even know was black because he passed for white because he's mixed, right? So because of stuff like that, it also starts the community, because of family, off at ground zero, because the wanting to equating whiteness with greatness, you bleed yourself out of being black when you get money. That's part of we talk about the self-hate and the weave thing and all that. That's kind of where that ties into. And when the sisters be like, you think success is getting a white woman, and y'all won't get them other women when y'all make it to the top. And if it's love, I get it. If it's trophyism, that's how it's gonna end. You ain't gonna see, like seriously, if you ain't gonna see the Kardashian grandkids know who the hell Kanye is. Woo-hoo! Great granddad Kanye ain't gonna be in the picture. Kanye money gonna still be there. Okay. Now, the other thing at the end of the day, and because I'm a little chill and I'm trying to calm down, I'm trying to say it in a nicer way, but the other thing is this: our families are at odds because of the classism. there's always going to be classism, but there is a part of classism where it's detrimental to the whole. And here's what I mean. The talented 10th are not the same 10% of people from the same 10% of families. So at some point, we're going to have to start backing the talented 10th that come from the bottom 10th, the middle 80, okay? Because when you look at it, and we see this all the time with our families, we're leaving people on their own who should be in the talented 10. Even if they started from the bottom, now they here kind of people, for real. And then we wonder why they're so isolated and don't want to deal with anybody. It's because we didn't cultivate our own talent at every level. Why is this a family issue? Because if everybody can feel like they can actually get a piece of the American dream, because your family might not be as knowledgeable as your brother, sister, cousins, uncles, aunts' family. So when you come around and they say, look, I see your little son or daughter they got something there. You might not know how to cultivate it, but every now and then bring them by. I'll show them. That would do wonders for the infrastructure of our community, because now you have kids and adults, and it's not just about kids, to be perfectly honest, it's also about adults, because we leave adults out there hanging the same way. And we can't do that. That's part of that's actually part of the male problem that females don't get, that I'll just throw in there real quick, is you can't leave these men out here hanging to conquer the world on their own and then show up when the war is won and they were a one-man army and say, we did it. That's how, that's part of the separation with community in itself. So ultimately, our family structure, to maintain our infrastructure, needs to be fine-tuned to how it used to be. And what I mean by how it used to be, look at how our family structure was during Reconstruction. Look at how our family structure was during the Black Wall Street. Look at how our family structure was during the Harlem Renaissance. And if you look at the family structure, then you can look at the business structure, then you can look at the community and see how united it was. Part of the civil rights movement that we look back as so tremendous, which was part of all those other movements, was circled around family. The minute you get the family unified, don't you think that during Reconstruction, Jim Crow, the Black Codes, the Renaissance, the Civil Rights Movement, there were men and women who were at odds with family situations, but they knew, yo, I don't like you right now, you don't like me right now, but we are together. We are together though. We just gonna not like each other together. Thus that kick y'all be kicking about My grandparents was in the same house for 30 years, and for 5 years they ain't never even like each other. They ain't talk to each other. They slept in the same room. But guess what? They knew though. We don't like each other, but we all we got. So while you searching for happiness and never finding nobody, you never understood that we all we got. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I hope this one stays. I really do.